Hello, Gemini. How are you? Welcome back to Marion K Tarot. This is going to be your general reading for the month of April 2025. Gemini, how did we get here? Seriously? I'm like, what the heck? So this month we are going to be using, we're going to be pulling a wee oracle card from the Love deck of the Sacred Connections oracles. And I've used these a couple of times on the channel, and I just really like them, and this was the energy that I was feeling when I decided, what decks I was going to be using this month. So let's see what they've got to say for you. Okay. Right, what it says is, when you are upset, do you wish for me to give you space or be present with you? This is really interesting. This seems to be the card that is coming up the most. This has already came out for two other signs, and I know it was one fire sign and one earth sign. Do not ask me what ones it was because I can't remember, because you know what my mind is like, Gemini, right? So what this is feeling like for you is it you that is being upset, or are you sitting there wondering, have I done something to upset somebody else? It's quite and I know that you don't, like, for personal experience, Geminis really don't like upsetting people. You don't do it deliberately, but unfortunately sometimes you kinda you kinda do, Gemini. But you don't, it's never your intention. And for the vast majority of the time, it's never your intention to deliberately hurt somebody. It's just that the way your mind works and the way that you, like, live your life, you don't necessarily think past the moment, and that can be difficult for those round about you who don't maybe necessarily understand that. Um, but just something maybe to bear in mind this month, for the month of April. If it's something that, when you're upset, do you wish for me to give you space or be present with you? And just asking that question, Gemini, because it's like you have this really kind and caring side, but sometimes people just need to be on their own. Okay, so something to bear in mind there, right? Now I'm using the Crow Tarot for the main reading. Um, it just sang to me. It literally called out for across my office. So we're going to be pulling cards for this. So can I have some cards, please, for Gemini for April 2025, please? We have got the Six of Cups. We've got the Nine of Wands. And we've got the Knight of Wands. And at the bottom of the deck, we have got Justice. So that's Libra energy. Okay. What is, you can put that up there, right? Okay, so what is my opening with this for the month of April, Gemini? Let's start with that Justice card at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Now, as I said, it represents your sister sign of Libra. But what it also does is it reminds us that Lady Justice, is blind. So there should be impartiality going on. Some of you might not be feeling that over the course of April. Some of you might feel like there's a preference to one particular outcome as opposed to another particular outcome, something that you're involved in, Gemini, and it feels very much like there's more injustice than actual justice. It feels like you could be dealing with people or circumstances that feel very unjust. And that's the energy that's coming through very, very strongly. Looking at this Six of Cups, it feels like it's something, obviously, this is in the past position. It is a card that speaks of the past, whether that's past lives, childhood, etc., etc. It feels like, this month, now remember, there is a Venus at retrograde going on as I am filming this. There's also a Mercury retrograde. What it feels like is that there has been, over maybe the past couple of weeks, etc., there has been things coming to the surface that you feel you've either been treated unjustly or unfairly, or there is something happened that someone you love has been treated unjustly. Okay. There could be an opportunity here for healing, because I see the Six of Cups as a card of healing as well. And where it shows, the kind of healing aspect, it's like going back to the past, sitting with the past, because you're a very forward facing sign, Gemini. You don't like to dwell in the past. You're very much like, well, the past is the past, and that's what happened, and that's just it. You know. Um, but there's a weariness to this. Maybe you've been sitting overthinking something. You've been overthinking circumstances, maybe conversations that have been had in the past, or just feelings. Remember, I mean, this is a card of Scorpio. So, Gemini, it's not that you don't go on with Scorpios, but you've got this kind of it's like the kind of pop astrology world is sort of a put you and Scorpio together as the most disliked signs of the zodiac, which I do not support. Okay, I don't think that there is a sign that should be disliked. I think that there is just a lack of understanding about how different signs interact with each other, or different signs interact in general. So it's like there should be more understanding, is what I'm trying to say. Basically about how you tick. And if people understood that, then there wouldn't be so much misunderstandings. But that's just a wee side note from me. Um it just feels very much like, in order to move forward, because I will be eventually moving forward this month. This month feels transitional. It feels like it's this energy where you get to move forward. If there's something if you've been feeling trapped somewhere in this unjust situation, then April offers an opportunity to move forward, for forward motion, to move forward at the speed that you would like to. Now, again, remember, your ruling planet Mercury is currently retrograde, so that could have slowed things down as well. It could have slowed down communications, etc. The Nine of Wands is a card of Sagittarius, so that's your opposite sign. So there has been things coming up, and also the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius. There has been things coming up for you that it's almost like you've been forced to consider things, to reconsider things, to reevaluate what is important to you, Gemini. Um, but by doing so, this is going to eventually like set you free. It's what strikes me as being interesting about this particular Nine of Wands is, looking at it, you look as if it looks as if it's just the 8 wands, and then it's the crow here that is carrying the ninth wand, it's picking up the ninth wand. So for me, it feels like that indicates that there's almost like a kind of ace-like energy to this card. And I know that might sound strange because you're like Mary and it's a 9, but it feels like there's an ace-like energy. There's this kind of a ignition point that's going to become available. Now, whether that is when Mercury goes direct It may well be, you may well find that you find that shift in things, and that's a really powerful thing. That's a really powerful way to interpret this energy, so then it's like, right, so let's see, we've got this wand here, and we're taking it forward into the Knight of Wands, right? And the crow's giving the horse it, right? And then there's the same wand here, and it's like you're charging forward, Gemini. You're charging forward to go after what it is you want this month. It's like, I mean, it could be anything in life, whatever situation you feel like it is when it comes up, whatever, if you're sitting there or listening to me or watching this reading, it's like whatever comes into your mind when you think about what you want to move forward with, then that's the thing you should pursue. How do you pursue it? Well, you pursue it by deciding, making a plan, and going for it. Okay. Now I know that Gemini, you're not the best at the plans, it's like you'd rather just go charging in there and make the plan up as you go. But have a little bit of an idea of where you're going, and that'll help you. That'll help you just kind of marshal your thoughts together, and organize your thoughts as opposed to just running at things. Okay, now I hope that makes sense for you, Gemini. All in all, it's probably going to be a wee bit, still going to be a wee bit of a challenging month. There's no getting away from that. However, I do think that it feels like there's a very defined story with these cards, right? It's like we've got the Six of Cups here, so it's asking you to look at the things for the past, to rethink how things have been done, have the rest that the Nine of Wands is asking you to have, and then once you're kind of recuperated, then go forward, charge forward with the Knight of Wands. But whilst you're in this Nine of Wands state, just, as I say, get that plan together. It doesn't need to be a complete plan, but just maybe your next 4 or 5 steps in the situation, in the thing that you're looking to do. And that should see you okay. Then you can go charging forward like the Knight of Wands. Okay, Gemini. So I hope you're going to have a wonderful month. It looks good. It's challenging, but there's nothing here that you cannot handle, Gemini. Okay. So yeah, if you want to book a private reading with me, the details are in the description box. I'd love you to just hit the like button, and if you've not already subscribed, consider subscribing. Okay, lots of love, Gemini. Bye.